Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back the 5-day faculty development program on additive manufacturing and industrial scopes and applications. The last session of day, additive manufacturing rapid prototyping lab, a in-house virtual tour with project description along with available RP system. For this session, Mr. Ved Prakash, Assistant Professor with us. I welcome you, sir. Some points about Mr. Ved Prakash. He has been working as an assistant professor in Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Greater Noida, since December 2018, and having more than 2 years of teaching experience in mechanical engineering. He is working continuously in rapid prototyping and reverse engineering lab since last 2 years in Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology. He has been working on projects of additive manufacturing since joining NIET, and he has also trained so many students on 3D printing and reverse engineering field of research in the PTC Center of Excellence. He has also enabled many final year students to execute their major projects in the field of additive manufacturing. He is having bright knowledge of composite 3D printers. He has done his Master of Technology in 2018 in the field of design engineering from Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology, Allahabad. He has also worked on FEM analysis with the exposures of ANSYS and having knowledge of design against fatigue and fracture with help of MATLAB. I welcome you, sir. Now I hand over the session to you. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shravana, sir. And now I am just starting the session. First of all, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for all giving me such opportunity to give this good session here on the 3D printing lab and reverse engineering also. Then actually this session will be carried on about the 3D printing machines here, and this is the demonstrations. So just starting the session, I'm briefing about the some concepts. How can we start the 3D machines and how can we print the 3D parts models on that machines? So first of all, we have to need a 3D model, and that 3D model should be in the some format, and that format should be STL, OBJ, and G code. So preferably we will choose here STL format. And STL, what is this? We can say it is a stereolithography, or in another way, this one is the standard triangle language, and this is also can we say standard tessellation language. And here we can see this one STL format describes the surface of an object as a triangular mesh in which the coordinates of the triangle vertices be recorded. And in the tessellation, we can say tessellation what it does. This does the breaking the geometry of surface into a series of small triangular or other polygons. That's the way of making this 3D model into the mesh, which is created by the STL file conversion at that time. So after getting the STL codes of any 3D model, we carry on for the machine, and this STL file is uploaded in a software, and in between machine before printing the 3D model, 3D parts, we need the slicing softwares, or that software is this slices the any 3D model. We can say slicing mean as we chop the tomato like in slices. In the same way, this slicer also do the same thing. And the slicing, here the number of layers can be executed by the slicer, and this layer, the path of that layer is adjusted, is created by that software. And when we print any part, the geometry of that layer and the coordinates of that layer are created by the slicer software. So first of all, I will talk about the SLA technique. That one is the uh, oldest one technology, and very fine technology. And in 1980s, this technology was evolved by the Charles Hull. So, and here we are having Formlab 3D printer, which works on the this one SLA technique. And we can say the slicing software which will be used for this machine is Formlab. Formlab is preform software. So we are having Formlab 2 3D printer, and which needs this preform. Now I'm just going to show the preform, and I will do their slicing for the any product, any parts. Now I'm just sharing the slide. What is one? Now I hope so the slide is being shown here, and this is a preform slicer software for this Formlab Form 2 3D printer. And here this is the showing Form 3, and we can take here, we can select also Form 2, which is machine is available here, Form 2. So we will select Form 2 here. Then here this is we can say this is showing the version and the resin we are using here. And I wanted to tell that the resin is used as a material for this Formlab Form 2 3D printer, and this laser is present, is available in variety of forms. So here we can see there clear, black, clear and color, custom tray, dental, and denture base. So many materials is here. We can select which one is available here. Here is gray is available. This one is gray, so we will select this. And here is also showing the version of this material. So this is in the V4 fourth version, and this is the graded by the industry which is supplying the material. So we can take on that basis. So now we can here we can check the layer thickness. When we will do slicing, the layer thickness we need to define there. And so here we can see and for the gray material, layer thickness minimum 25 micron to maximum 160 micron. So if we talk about the 25 micron, this one is the highest resolution, and we will get the very fine features on any part. And if we wanted to print the fast any model, so we can check the layer thickness would be high. So if we talking about the 160 micrometer thickness of the layer, that will be the fastest print for this given gray material. And here we can check for the other material also. So we can say this Formlab Form 2 3D printer having the range of layer thickness from 25 micron to 300 micron. So this is depend on the type of material which one we are using here. And just I am showing that for other material like as white or clear material. Suppose I am talking about the white, and this one show the layer thickness 50 micron minimum and 100 micron maximum. And so these are the, and the one more thing, here are the some fixed value of the layer thickness. That one is 50 and maximum 100 for this white material, and we can't choose the in between. So because the software providing here like that, because this is the material features for which we can't print the layer in between the layer height. So this is the coded that in that way. Now we are having the gray material, so I am just going to select the gray. Now we will apply here, and we can see here the layer height. This is suppose 100 micron, 50 micron, and 25 micron. So if we wanted to optimum, then we can choose 100, or if we wanted to print this fast, in the fast way, we can choose 160 micron layer height here. So just I am taking 100 micron. So I am applying this, and after that we can see this platform. This is the resin. This is the build plate. This is showing here. And first of all, we have to upload a model that is STL format file. So just I am taking the file here from file option, and we will open from there. Here, this is the file is uploaded. Am I audible? So here we can see this is the turbine blade. This is the rotor of turbine. So now this file is uploaded. After that, we will talk about the all features, all slicing here. So this software, with the help of this, we can do all the slicing. And just it is showing the by default portions here. We can check here virtual printer form 2, and it is showing resin gray V4 version thickness also 0.1 mm. It means 100 micron. So, and we can check also details here. Print time, it is showing about 1 hour, and number of layers 112. So volume also is showing here, and but printability is not there, because there are some features we need to add, like as supports structure and other things. So on the basis of that, it will show printability here. But now it is showing just it is not showing here. It is giving us some warning command. Now we will do it printable. Then we have to select. Here we can also check. This is the one-click print. If we will click here. Then it will automatically generate the codes, generates the G codes, and slices it as the optimum label. So I am showing here, set up your print. Then we will click here. Then this will show. Now here we can see that they are generating supports, and the orientation is this of this it has been changed. Now this one is calculating all the features for this printable material. Yeah, here it is done. Yeah, here we can see we can check the orientation of this part. Then we are going to manage all the support structure and the orientation we will control by manually. So here we have to select, this one is the orientation. Then we have to select that type of orientation which is best for that design, that part to be printed. And that's why and we have to optimize the support structure and the material to be consumed in the supports. Now here we can check orientation like about x-axis and control in about y-axis and z-axis, or we can take the any plane like this one plane and this one plane. This suppose this one is taken in this form, and this is the best orientation for this, and we need a raised part for this, because this is needed for peel out this part after printing. Now this is the orientation is completed, so now we will focus on the support structure. So we will just click here. Here we can see this is the supports, and we can also control this. We can first create auto generate selected, or maybe control manually. So if we will control this on the basis of manually, we will talk about the raft type. Raft, I think so you are known about what is the raft, and I'm just giving the idea what is raft here. So when we print the any material, then there is some when we peel out that material, then part 3D printed, and we need some base here, base just below our model. So we need to some layers. We can say one layer or two layer raft type. This one just when we talk about the just before printing first layer of the 3D model, we have to print other extra layers. For that we can get a build plate there, and this will be easier to peel out in that case, so our part will not be affected by that. So we choose raft. This is just below the first layer of the 3D part, and here it is showing the full raft here. And here we can also check the density. We can also increase or decrease the density as per the requirement. Now it is also showing the touch point size. Here we can check the when supports are being created, and the point just about the raft, the point at which the first layer of the part is being in contact. So the contact is the point size, and that point size can be controlled as 0.6 mm or 0.1 mm like that. And here we can also check that there are the internal supports, and internal supports is required in the case of hollow part. If we are having that, suppose we are making a shaft, hollow shaft, or any other part, so there is a need of internal supports. So in that case it can build the supports in the inner side of that part. Now after this we can generate, and we can go in the advanced setting of this. Suppose this one is the flat spacing, and this one, in that case, if we are making two parts at the same time on the same bed, so in that case we need some space between these two parts. So we take this is the flat spacing, and this is the automatically 5 mm here. And after that we talk about the slope multiplier, and this one is actually when we generate the supports. And here the if we are talking about the single support, and that one is having the single base, but after at the some height there are another support from that support. I mean that is the multiple multiplier. Also that needs a slope angle, and what angle we are deciding there. So we can also take that thing. And here is showing the slope multiplier 1 2 3 in that way. I mean if this support is having single base, and after at some height it is showing 2 branches 3 branches, that is the multiplier. And now we come to the height above the raft. Here we can see that we have generated the raft just between the 3D model, and the 3D model is supported by the supports, and these supports are in between raft and first layer of the 3D model. So these heights can be controlled. Here we can take like as 5 mm or 3 mm. And after we talking about the raft thickness, suppose we are executing the first of all raft is being printed before printing any 3D model. So this is also designed here. So then we can take the thickness of the raft up to which we want to print that thing. So we can take 2 mm or 3 mm. And here we can also check the compression of that part. If we wanna to compress the support, that is showing Z compression, and we can take here compression or not of the support. Now we will generate the supports here. Here we can apply the supports we have given there. This is showing some problem that it is requiring more support, so we can take. We can auto generate also here. Now this is auto generating the supports for this structure. Now this one is calculating the printability. Then here is showing some minima detected, unsupported minima. So we will control this thing also. Here we can see this is the raft. The base of this platform is here. This one is the raft, and suppose you can see the model and the raft between there are the columns, like these columns called supports here. Now we come to the next point. If we want to print this part or we wanna duplicates of this, we can take from here. And then here showing model spacing 5 mm, and this is also showing overlap rafts. If we wanted to overlap the raft, it means base of the 3D model which to be printed. So suppose we have to select this one, and then we wanna create 2 parts or 3 models on the same bed. We can take here 2 value, 3 value, like that. This one we can take. And one more thing, we can also control the size of the part. We can descale or scale, and we can do half scaling and double scaling as per the requirement of the model. So here, and if we wanted to come to the duplicate count 2 3 like this, or we wanted to delete, we can directly delete on select like this. And we, if we talk about the array, and this one, so the horizontal number of parts and vertical number of parts, so we can take advantage of this feature also. And mirror, if we wanted to, suppose I am taking the single part like this, and this is, if I want to mirror this part, we can do it. Yeah, in that way we can do all these things as per the requirement of any model. And this one is the layout. This is called layout of that part. So by using this feature, we can get 2 3 more or more parts. Now we have to make this support C again. We can check also orientation with the auto orientation. And we can get the preview of this. Suppose I will click here, then this is the preview. We can check another parts, front view, top view, side view, like that. Now we can generate again the supports here. Yeah, in this way we can check all the features here, and we can check here this is taking time 1 hour 30 minutes for this printing, and number of layers. I am showing such the animation type. We can, so this, first of all, the raft is being printed, this one. Then you can observe here, this one is the raft, just as I am showing, and then number of layers are being add on layer by layer, so we can see this. And now the support structure has been started to be printed, and after some point this structure has support structure being completed, then the first layer of the model 3D model is to be started. So we can observe here like this. This now I'm showing this one. We can observe this This is the actual way of 3D printing. This part is completed like that, in this manner. So now this part is printable. We can just click on the one click print. Yeah, in this way, uh, we can do all the necessary needs, necessary things. After this printability, we can check here this printability pass is showing. Then we can directly give this command to the Formlab printer, and we can print from this, and we will show that part how it is going to be print, right? So after this we will carry on for the next printer. So we are having the another 3D printer, Mark IV 3D printer here. And before coming to the Mark IV, this part I will show the printing of this turbine rotor on the Formlab printer, and I will tell about the some features of that printer also. So now coming to the part of the Mark IV. Then we can say talk about the Mark IVs. This is the metal in the market. We can say the Onyx material. Onyx, we are having basically Mark IV Onyx 3D printer. So metal printer also available in the market. So we will talk about this Onyx, and here we can say that Onyx material is being used, and we can say what is Onyx. Onyx generally it's a type of plastic, and this one is the nylon with the chopped carbon. So if we are going to reinforce here, and this printer also reinforce the material in between the layer, we can use the reinforced material like as glass fiber or carbon fiber, yeah, or Kevlar or HSST glasses. So just I'm showing the slicer software for this Mark IV Onyx Pro 3D printer, and this one is the Eiger. So this is the base. This work on the cloud base, and we can do all the slicing on the online, and then we can give command to the 3D printer available here. And just suppose I am taking this double helical gear, this one. Here you can see. Now just I need to do the slicing for this. So we can do all the necessary needs here. First of all, I am coming to the right side, part setting. So this one is the general setting, and first of all I need to carry the material which is available here. So we are having Onyx material in our lab, and this 3D printer also works on Onyx material. So if we are talking about this series, now it is visible. Okay, yeah. Now is it visible? It is showing the screen. Yeah, I'm talking about the general setting of this slicer. This one is Eiger, and for this their website eiger.io. So we can go to the general setting like that. We can take material available Onyx. Then we talk about the reinforced material. If we wanna get the high strength like as aluminum, so we can use this reinforcement material here. And if we are using fiberglass which is available in our lab, so this is the just equivalent, the strength gets equivalent to the aluminum material, so we can use this feature also. And this reinforcing can be controlled like if we wanna reinforcement, I mean glass fiber between the layers of the Onyx material. Suppose after 8 layers of Onyx, then we want 2 layers of the reinforcement material in glass fiber, we can do here. Now come to the next point. This one is showing the printer type here, and this is the desktop series, industrial series, and metal series. And that metal series, suppose we want a metal 3D printer, I mean metal Markforged metal printer. So that metal, suppose copper and nickel, that can be 3D printed with the help of this metal series printers. But we are having desktop series printer Onyx Mark II. So we will talk about this. So now if we want to change some features, we wanna to orientation in which we want to print here this, because orientation depends, is a very necessary thing to be print. And this orientation can be decided on the basis of the force or any other factor applicable on that part, or mean functionality of the part. Because layer by layer printing the there, if we print any part one layer on the another layer, so that part becomes a little bit weak in the perpendicular of this layer. If we talk about, if we apply the tensile force on the part, and there is just adhesion between one layer between the second layer, so that part becomes a little bit weak. So on the basis of that functionality, in which direction the force or any other thing is applicable, as per that we have to choose that orientation. And we can control this rotation, manual rotation of this double helical gear. We can take orientation manually, or we can put here values for X rotation 180 degree, like Y rotation 270 degree, or Z rotation 0, or maybe as per your requirement we can take this rotation. So and this one is showing next point, lock orientation. And lock orientation, this means if the orientation is locked, then we can't manually rotate this part. So we can take also as per the requirement. And now come to the cloud slicing. and we are doing this slicing on the online on this website. So this is the cloud slicing, because after slicing this part, we can directly give command to the 3D printer, and the metal and the part that to be print will be started just within a fraction of time. Now this is general setting, we can save this. Now this will calculate some features. Now next, now we come to the next setting, like original units. We can control the units, suppose metric system and imperial system, like foot pound, like that. So we will take metric system in distance, length, and width in the mm system. So we will use here. Now talk about the scaling, and the original size can be scaled also here. It can be controlled size, half, or same original size, or double, triple. We can do here by using the command this scaling. Suppose I am taking one, this is the same original size, and if I wanna take half of this size, we can get that half. Now this is showing next use supports. Yeah, if we wanna print a good model, good part, so we have to take the supports also. This is a we can do it, click yes, and in the next part we can take support angles. If we wanted to change that part, we can check some parts required like that inbuilt features, and mean some parts having some 3D parts having the like that some extrude, some cantilever type part or extrude part, so we can take support angle there. And next we can take this one raise part, because we want to print the part in a better way, so we have to generate a bed below the just below the 3D model part which to be print, and we can take this part like as 20 mm layer height or 20 mm. Yeah, we can take this one just as you can check number of layers, 20 layers height or 30 layers you can take here. After that we talk about the expand thin features. If we are having the part that is the very thin walls of the part, and we have to print that part, so for the better precision or better accuracy, we need to expand this thin feature, because the wall thickness is very less in that case, so we can use this feature. And after we talk about the brim, as I know already told you that raft, and raft just the below part, just below part of the 3D model, and which is required to peel out. In that case, that is the raft. But here I am talking about the brim. So brim actually, what is it? This one is some extra part we can take like that. If we will extend the raft, we can extend the raft outer the part of the 3D model. I mean, the size of the brim is larger than the part. It is needed because if we want to print any part, that part may get warp because it may be twisted. So we need this brim setting here. because this brim control the warping. If we talk about the ABS material, like ABS in ABS material, and in that way, the brim is necessary for that case because warping is there. So now next come to the one turbo infill. Here we can say if we are printing the cells, or turbo means simply, this is the fast way. So then if we are using this feature, the printing will be the double the speed. And if we are talking about the turbo supports, so if when we are going to generate the supports, I mean this printing, we are going printing the supports, so the part of support will be printed with the double speed. So when we open on this turbo supports function, so we can get uh, it means the overall time will be minimized by using these features, turbo supports or turbo infill. Now come to the next points. If we are talking about the infill, suppose infill mean the structure of the 3D part to be printed within that part. That is the infill. How will we will fill that part here? And just I am showing the fill pattern. So this is showing triangular pattern, hexagonal fill pattern, or rectangular fill pattern, solid pattern. Just I am showing here. As you can see, this one is the triangular pattern, which is, and this one is the hexagonal pattern, and this one is the rectangular fill pattern. And here this pattern is determines the strength of the part to be printed. And we can take triangular, hexagonal, or rectangular, or solid fill. Now come to the fill density. And for the optimized, if we are talking about optimized density, this one 37%. Actually, fill density is this one is the true density of the part. If we are printing the different parts, this is just about the where material to be deposited. That is the fill density. That is taken as 37 as the by default, and that is the optimized. 37 is the optimized fill density. So now if we are talking about the roof and floor layers, because the part within the structure there is the fill pattern like triangular, hexagonal, or rectangular, or solid pattern. So we need to solid print the roof and floor and walls also. So in that way we need to roof and floor layers. We can assign this roof 4 layers for the roof and 4 layers of floors for the making the strength of that part. And if we applying this feature, roof and floor layer will be filled solid pattern, as this is the fill pattern. So this will be the solid, so that increases strength of the part. Now we are talking about the wall layers, and in this also in the same way we can apply the solid fill pattern for the wall layers. And for how many layers we wanna to give this command, 2 layers or 3 layers for the wall. And we can select like that 2 here, or we can select 3 in that case as per the requirement. Now here, after the slicing of all about this Eiger. Now come to the part details, and this one is showing the dimensions of the part, and also showing print time 3 hour 26 minute here, and material. We can also check here final part mass 4.97 gram, and volume also can check. And here we can see one thing, version. This shows the past of that part, how many times we have do this slicing of that part. This is showing here. We can check here This is showing the timing on which date we have to open this part here, like that. This one, and this one. Now we can take support. Now we talk about the internal view. Here we can take part view also. After doing this, we can print this job, and directly on the cloud basis, we can give command this after slicing this part to the 3D printer. And here is the print command. We can go to this option and we can print. This showing little bit error because network problem is there, so it will take some time. Yeah, after this giving this command, this part will be uploaded to the Markforged 3D printer, and we will show in the end that part. And after uploading this part, we will show how this part, this turbine blade will be printed there. Yeah, now this is showing the some internal view. Yeah, this one is showing part. Now we can do this feature, add to queue, or if there are any other parts to be printed on the machine, this will show add to queue or print now. We can take command as you know, as you require. We give print now, and then after giving this command, this part will be uploaded to the 3D printer. And here is showing generating print, how to be print that part on the Markforged 3D printer. So just now I'm coming to the another 3D printer available here. That is the Delta-West 2040 Turbo 2 3D printer, and we will talk about that also. And this Turbo 2 print Delta-West printer is works on the two technologies, as this one FFF. And so just so there is some error. It is not showing the Cura folder. Yeah, now it is showing. I hope so. Now this slider is also visible. Yeah, actually this is the Cura slider which is used in this Delta-West 2040 Turbo 2 3D printer, and we are talking about the Delta 3D printer. And this one printer having the bad size of hexagonal shape, So we can take the build volume of the 3D printer. And if we are talking about the hexagonal bed size, then we have to talk about also the area on which we can print that part on the bed. So if we are draw in circle of that hexagonal, so that in circle defines the part to be on which we can print the any 3D part. So we are talking about the build volume, mean the circle that is in circle. So it will be of 200 diameter. And if we are talking about the height that completes the volume, so height will be 400 in this case. So here we can use the material. We are talking about PLA material and ABS. So we are also having available PLA, ABS, and other material. This material can be printed with the help of FFF modeling, fused filament fabrication, and another technique which can also be used on this Delta West printer, that is LDM, liquid deposition modeling. And in the case of LDM, we use the clay or porcelain material. So we will show that things here. Now we talk about the Delta West, and here we have to upload a material. We will load the material. We will go to the here we can see we can rotate this part. This is the turbine rotor. We can manually control the rotation of this also. If we select this one axis, we can rotate like this, or we can do also manually like that 90 degree in x-axis or 180 degree in y-axis or 0 degree in z-axis. So this is the basically orientation. If before going to this, we talk about the ABS material. ABS material is generally, we talk about the features. It is good than the PLA material because the flexibility and ductile strength is more of the ABS than the PLA. And basically, we have to, before printing this part, we have to heat the bed and the extruder. So in the case of ABS material, the bed temperature should be 90 to 110 degree Celsius. And we are talking about nozzle. So nozzle which is fitted in the extruder. So extruder hot end, that is there the hot end on the nozzle. So that hot end should be controlled up to 240 to 260 degrees Celsius in the case of ABS material. And you will be thinking that how the bed temperature should be 90 to 110 degree. Actually, this is depends on the glass transition temperature of the material. So glass transition temperature, you will be known about what the things and what does it indicate. Simply if any part is rigid and it converts into the softness state, when the rigid to soft states, that is softness state is called the glass transition temperature, the temperature at which we are obtaining this feature. So on the basis of this class transition, we decide the bed temperature here. And if we are talking about the material, in the case of ABS and PLA, the nozzle size should be 0.4 mm, and the material will be used in the form of solid wire, and that wire size is 1.75 mm. So the other and here we control the machines. There is a in this machine and there is a display unit. We can define all the parameters there. And now just I'm coming to the slicing of this Cura software that is used in the Delta West. Here we can see now this one is showing fast print, normal print, high quality, or ultimate quality. So by the default it is showing here ultimate quality, that is the optimized here. And here we can take also print support structure. Here we can check, this is showing the orientation of that part. Suppose this is the scaling, we want to do the double the scale, half size or triple size, like that we can scale. And we can control manually scale in X. If you want to increase the X direction, yeah, or in Y direction or Z direction, yeah, same. So we can control the just scaling in X, Y, Z, and also we can give the dimension of that part also in X direction, Y direction, Z direction, and this will be scaled in like that. And this one is the mirror part. If we are having a one part, we can take the another part. There is the symmetry, like suppose we are doing this mirror of the about Z direction. This one, this will be the mirror part of that one. And if we are getting mirror of in about the Y direction, we can do this. We are getting the same thing here because this the part is in the symmetry. So and this also can be carried on for the x-axis. Now we are come to the rotate part. We can rotate, and this defines the orientation of this part. And we can use this feature also lay flat, which is already lay flat here. Now this is calculating some things here automatically. So this is showing here. We can check and time showing 1 minute and 0.02 meter. We can scale this part. It is showing uniform scaling also. I have just opened this uniform scaling here, so we can scale it uniformly. Suppose this is showing the up to the maximum height also, maximum build plate, the available here. We can take this scaling that. Now after this doing this thing, generating all supports, and here we can also use the we can use this to the quick print. If we are talking about the quick print, all the features, all the slicing are done as per the fastest way. So in that case, if we are talking about the support structures, that support structures will be printed very fast in that way. All the things will be optimized in that way in the case of fast printing. Now I am going to the full setting of this part here. This one is showing layer height. We can control here 0.04 mm layer height or 4 microns layer height, and cell thickness also can be taken here. And just here is showing enable retraction. If we are talking about the nozzle, that is the spindle of the machine. So we are, if nozzle is completing the one layer, then it is going to print the another layer. I mean, if we are printing a start point to end point, now suppose the nozzle or spindle is at the uh, end part, so it will come to the start point. So when this will go from end point to the start point, that is defined by the retraction. So we can take it the enable retraction, and if the speed of printing is the same, then retraction also will be same. And if we can enable retraction, then we can minimize the time from end point to the start point, when the spindle coming from start point to the origin point. So that covered will be the minimum time. So we can use this retraction here. And now talking about the fill pattern. As you can take bottom or top thickness. Here we can take this in the bottom and top. So this, yeah, here you can check bottom fill density also. Speed and temperature can be controlled. Like that, ABS is having 250 degrees melting point and bed temperature 100 degrees. So here these parameter has been shown here. So, and you can also check print speed 50 mm per second, and we can modify also this. Now come to the support. Support can be changed also. I am taking the everywhere support, and it is also showing platform adhesion type. That is the brim. Brim. I already told that it's adheres the build blade, so the warping can be controlled. And now come to the filament. Filament. This is the ABS material which is available in the wire form. So we can take diameter available 1.75 mm. And we can take flow like that 100% here. And it is also showing machine nozzle size 0.4 mm, which is available here. So we can take these parameters, and so we can do all the necessary things here. Now just I'm coming to the demonstration of the 3D printers available here. So I am just closing this slicer here. So yeah, now we are showing the now Dr. Rajkumar sir is showing the 3D printers available here. So you can verify that thing here.
So right now in your front, you will be watching the Formlabs 3D printer, which is basically a Formlab Form 2 model, which is based on the technology name as selective laser sintering. So this is basically a selective laser sintering technology based 3D printer. In this 3D printer, you can see this is the acrylic sheet, which is in a specific color. And the purpose of this color is just to avoid the ultraviolet radiations to be inside the unit. So this is our material, which you can look at here. So this unit is known as VAT. This particular system is known as VAT. So this VAT is nothing but just the resin tank, and below here this whole unit belongs to your selective laser sintering apparatus. So this unit is having laser equipment with you. So laser is transferring its radiations towards the VAT. VAT is actually transparent from the bottom. So from the bottom you will be having the laser light from the bottom with the help of some galvanometers. So there are a lot of galvanometers over there. Along with that, this particular thing is known as build platform. Today, whatever you have sliced with the Dr. Ved Prakash sir, that particular sliced model will be print over this. Then tomorrow, hopefully we will get some time to demonstrate you that particular model. I will show you some physical model as well along with the machine, what all those components which we have prepared through this machine. So this is the build platform. This is top to bottom kind approach of machine, where the bottom part will be placed here and it will be built accordingly from top to bottom. So in this way we will do. So here you can look at here, this particular part is the cartridge for the resin. So this resin cartridge is there. That resin cartridge can be opened from here. Then it will continuously supply the resin after the like whenever we put some part onto the print, then the resin can be ejected from here. And there is a sensor as well that senses the particular level of the resin. Apart from that, there is a IR sensor which also senses the heat inside the machine. So it is the controlled atmosphere. So this is the process unit where we print some component at this particular unit. So this unit is all. And after that, we are having some post-processing stations. So this is our post. Of course, this is a drone itself. So we are also into the drone. So this is a post-processing unit where we do some chemical treatments over here. So usually we use our IPA and different ethanol and acetone as well. We can use to treat the component when it comes out from the machine. We cannot directly use the component which is come out from the machine because it will be having resin coated over the component. And these are some components which you can look at. So these are some components. This is the dental application component. This is a jewelry application component. And there are a lot of components. This is a mask actually. So one more mask is there. And here also you can find out few more components related to the sculpting application. And there are some fine details you can also find out. These are the very small narrow components which you can see. There are the fine details, the 36 you could be able to see, and all the small holes as well you can see. And apart from that, this is a component which is also having a very fine details if you're able to see those fine holes over here. So this is again a component. So apart from that, there are different resins which are in white. So these are the different components which were made by our students. So these are the different things we do with SLA, selective laser sintering technology. Now we are moving ahead to another technology which is known as fuse deposition modeling, and which is also associated to liquid deposition modeling technology. So if you look at this particular setup here, I will show you all components and all the different machine operations. So here, if you look at, can you pan on to this particular area? Is it not panable? Then I can take it out from here. So this is the ABS material which is loaded over the machine. So this is wired spool loaded over the machine. So this is having a diameter of 1.75 mm, which is a standard one. And this is the whole machine interior. This is the head you can see. This is having a hot heating element. Right now the machine is started on. We are just going to start working from here. So we have started the sliced model, which was sliced by Dr. Vikas. So we are going to start. So the temperature is getting rise and the machine is under motion. So it will get started soon after reaching the particular temperature. So, and I will show you the different models as well. So these are some models. This is a coupling model. If you look at this, this is a coupling. This is a joint actually. This is a joint which our student has made, and this is a mask structure again. This is also some modifications we are doing into the mask, and there are some very beautiful monuments as well. So these are some students' projects which they perform in the lab. These are the different components made from FDM technology. So there are a lot of components we have made. You can see, look at here. Apart from the FDM capabilities, we are having the LDM capability with the machine. So LDM capability is having that, can you pan there that another unit, that unit is having this head, which head extrudes the slurry material that can be in the form of, you can say, you can extrude sand, you can extrude clay, you can extrude any kind of slurry. You can mix some foreign materials as well in order to get some composites as well. So this is all about the FDM and the LDM. There are many more things to discuss, but due to short time, we cannot discuss in detail. But we can give you some overview. These all operations can be performed over here. So moving ahead, here is the white light 3D scanner. Right now, as the workshop or the activity is related to your 3D printing, that is why we are not showcasing this slide at the moment, and we are इसमें So with this particular machine, we are having capability to print in reinforcement. So about the reinforcement, I want to discuss the material which it uses is a plastic material, which is a polymer, which is known as onyx. Onyx is nothing; it is just a matrix material, which is having a nylon-based material. Nylon is nylon 6, which is a tough nylon, which is reinforced with a chopped form of carbon fiber in order to form this black material. So this black material further extrudes through the stepper motor, and then it extruded through the temperature of 272 degrees Celsius. So at that particular temperature, it extrudes from the nozzle, and the nozzle is having a standard dia of 0.4 mm. And apart from that, we are having another capability with us. So that capability is related to your fiber materials. So we are having 4 categorized fiber material with us. Right now, it is loaded with glass fiber. So glass fiber is there. There are 3 more fiber materials as well. There is one fiber material which is known as carbon fiber, then HSST glass fiber, then Kevlar. Their applications are very different from each other. So the carbon fiber is the strongest material, and for the impact-based applications, we can use Kevlar material. So all those fiber materials can be reinforced inside the plastic in order to achieve the strong component. So this is a component which is a very lightweight component. Here we have reinforced the fiber, carbon fiber inside it. So if you try, you cannot even bend it. So you cannot bend it because it is reinforced with the carbon fiber material. So it is as strong as metal and light. It is very light material. If you are comparing it with aluminium, it is, I think, 1/10 of the aluminium, because it is also hollow from inside. It is filled with some density. It is not 100% filled, which is the capability in the machine. Apart from that, apart from this capability in the whole FDM technology, or you can say fused filament fabrication, you can have another capability. I will show you one more component to you. This is another capability which we are having. This is a component. If you look at this particular component, we are having inserted. If you are looking at this particular point, you can see there is an insert inside. This is a metal insert. So metal can be inserted during the process. In order to get the functionality, more functionality in the part. If you are doing it with the plastic, then plastic will be wear off over the period of time. But if you are doing it with metal, metal will stand for long. So this is why this is another capability. We are having various components with us. Some are patented. That is why we cannot share with you about those components. But of course, we will be putting that particular sliced model on this machine, and tomorrow we will be having time, then we will share that model after building up. So we can start either from the system, either from the machine itself while loading the file through the pen drive or some USB storage device, or even we can send the command through the Wi-Fi or the LAN cable. So reinforcement has already been discussed in the slicing part, so this is no need any explanation further. So we can share some components which are not copyrighted, which are not free from patent. So these are some components. These are the components which we have designed for some consultancy work. So this is Simon Electric is a company. We developed this particular socket for them, and this is of course one more component from one customer. So there are number of parts you can have. You can look at this particular component. This is a scaled down model of an engine block. So you can look at this. Apart from that, we are having some helical structures as well. So here one component I want to share with you, which was earlier discussed by yesterday's lecture by Dr. Sandeep Maheshwari. So he was talking about this particular capability. So this was not built separately. The outer and the inner and the balls are not built separately. So these all are built in single go. So this particular part, you can see this is fully functional. So this is all about the lab, and we are continuously growing into the lab. We are continuously developing different components, and we are continuously focusing on the advanced technologies, and we are continuously providing consultancy to industries as well as different institutes which are around us. So this is all about our lab. This particular lab, we are having a lot of lab here, but as the FDP belongs to additive manufacturing, that is why we have covered about this additive manufacturing. Thank you so much. So this is for today's session. Tomorrow we will be having 3 sessions, 3 more sessions to go. So this is the 4th-day closing, and we will see you. We will see you tomorrow morning 10 a.m. with a